ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः. So we were looking at the fifth Brahmana of the first chapter, and the topic under discussion is Saptanna, 7 types of food or anna. And the idea here is that the jiva is the bhokta or the enjoyer of these 7 foods. Okay, what is meant by food? Also, we are seeing there are, and again it was divided into a group of 4 and 3. Okay, sadhana annani, sadhya annani, those which are means and those which are effects or results. So the Sapta Anna, this Brahmana itself is called Sapta Anna Brahmana. The previous Brahmana, the fourth Brahmana, in that if you remember, the Jiva was talked about as a Bhogya Vastu, particularly the Ajnani, the ignorant individual, is being enjoyed by others, whether they are Devas, because this Jiva is giving oblations to the Devatas. And even animals are again taking help of this jiva because this individual is maintaining all the animals. So all others are also enjoying the individual being, the jiva. And in this Brahmana, the Upanishad is portraying the jiva as a bhokta. So then there is a question, which is true? Jiva is bhogya or jiva is bhokta, means both are true. Okay, that is what is going to be pointed out later on. And again, there is a Madhu Brahmana will come, where this interdependence will be talked about, and anything interdependent or mutually dependent has to have a third independent entity to support that mutual dependence. So then the whatever is mutually or interdependent becomes mithya, and whatever is independent alone is satyam. That is the teaching methodology. So here, in this case, the anna, the 3 annas were talked about as being kept for oneself, okay, which are vak, manas, and prana. And not only this vak, manas, and prana, we discussed initially with reference to one's own body. That is what is called adhyatma, with reference to one's own body. Here, atma, again, word can mean self, or it can mean body also. Adhyatma here means with reference to the individual physical body. We discussed the individual body's speech, and then the mind, manas, and prana, which is life, we can say. Now the same vak, manas, and prana were also talked about with reference to adhibhuta, with reference to your environment, let us say, in which they were talked about as different things. If you go back in these verses, you can see that. And then finally, we are now discussing this vak, manas, and prana with reference to the devatas, adhi devata, okay, adhi daivam, it is called. Now, in that adhi daivam, we already saw the first 11th verse here. This is the first one which is talking about the adhi daivika, okay. And here, the vak, for the vak indriya, any indriya for that matter, we are looking at it in 2 ways or 2 aspects of that. One is the golaka, or the physical container, you can say. For eyes or even speech, there is a vocal cord, the mouth is there. All these things are the physical container through which the vak function is expressed, correct? The speech as a function, as a phenomenon is expressed. Now, both these things are important for the for the indriya or the sense organ to, or the organ to function. So here, when we talk about the totality or with reference to the devatas, the Prithvi is being talked about as the container of the indriya. Like even the eyes, the physical eyes are the container for the sense organ eye. Here Prithvi is talked about. So Vachaha Prithvi Shariram. And then within that container or golakam, only the actual sense organ which is aware, correct? The sense organ reveals to you something. That is why it is called Jyoti Rupam, because like the light reveals whatever objects are there in the darkness, similarly, these sense organs are revealing to you something. Speech also reveals to you something. Eyes reveal to you something. Mind is revealing everything to you like that. So, the Prithvi is the container or Golakam or Shariram, and the Jyoti Rupam I am Agnihi, and the fire Devata is the actual Indriya, the subtle. Okay, the subtle aspect, if you see, the physical aspect is the Prithvi or the earth, and the subtle aspect is fire as the Devata, and they together form this Vag Indriya. Okay, and again the Upanishad says wherever you have this phenomenon of speech in any being, there both this Agni and Prithvi are there. Okay, because the Prithvi is the Adhara or the place where the actual functioning happens, correct? So without the support of the container, the function will not happen. Whatever phenomenon or functionality of that particular organ. So both are there wherever this Adidaiva Vak is there, wherever this speech as a phenomenon is there, in whichever being. That also is said here. Okay, Yavatyeva Vak Tavati Prithvi Tavanayam Agnihi. So both this Prithvi and Agni, they pervade everywhere, because here we are talking about Adhidaiva, means it is the totality we are talking about. Adhyatma is the microcosm. Adhidaiva and Adhibhuta are all, we are talking about the macrocosm, we can say. So the phenomenon is talked about both at an individual level and at a cosmic level, you can say. And this much we saw. And then we are now going into the 12th, where again similarly about the mind it will be talking. So Atha etasya manasaha Dyau Shariram. So for the mind, like Prithvi was the Sharira for Vak, for mind, Dyauhu means the Swargaloka, Dyaur Loka. Swargaloka is the Sharira for mind. Okay. And Jyoti Rupam Asau Adityaha. And the actual Indriya, okay, the Sukshma Indriya, which is revealing everything, which is in the form of awareness, which is in the form of light, we can say, is nothing but the Aditya Devata, Aditya or sun as the Devata. So Asau Adityaha Jyoti Rupam. Okay. Tad Yavad Eva Manaha Tavati Dyauhu Tavan Asau Adityaha. Similarly here, so wherever this mind is there as a phenomenon, wherever mind is active, in all those places, both this Dyaur Lokam and Aditya as a Devata are there. Because all these things put together only at a Deva level, if you see, they are the totality. Correct? That means they are there everywhere. In every individual mind, this cosmic mind or the total mind is manifest. That is what is being said here. Then a side interesting thing is being talked about here. Okay. Because if you see, go back, this Vak and Manas were talked about as Pita and Mata here. In the Adi Bhuta, when it discussed, Pita, Mata and Praja. Correct? So Pita is Manas. Sorry. Mana eva Pita. Correct. So Pita is Manas. Vag Mata. and prana was talked about as praja. Okay, now this is again talked about here. Okay, so let us see here. It is interesting. Mitunam samaitam tataha pranaha ajayata. So this vak and manas then united. They came together. Okay, samaitam. And then what? Thereafter, pranaha ajayata. The prana was born as the praja. And that prana is now Indra, the union of Agni and Aditya produced prana, and that devata is also called Indraha, means the most powerful, the ruler, and the one who has no enemies also. Saha Yeshaha Asapatnaha, unrivaled, does not have any enemies. Nobody can be an enemy of prana. If you are enemy of prana, you will lose your life, correct? You cannot live anymore. So that's why this prana is unrivaled, because all other things like mind and indriyas require the prana. Without prana, nothing will function. Only dead body will be there otherwise, correct? So that way also, this prana is unrivaled. There are no enemies. And further, interestingly, the Upanishad says, Dvitiyaha vai sapatnaha, na asya sapatnaha bhavati, ya evam veda. Okay, so Dvitiyaha vai sapatnaha means only if there is a second thing or one more thing with a attitude to oppose, okay, then only somebody can have an enemy. But this prana, which is Indraha, in fact, Bhashyakara says Indraha means Maheshwaraha, one who is the Lord of everything. Okay. So this prana does not have any enemies. There is no second thing which is an enemy for this prana or an opponent. And the one who does upasana like this about this prana, okay, na asya sapatnaha bhavati. So for that person also there won't be enemies. Any enemies will not be there. The one who meditates or does upasana about prana as being this unrivaled entity without any enemies, that person also will not have any enemies. There cannot be anybody rivaling that person. Evam Veda means the one who does upasana in this manner. For that person, na asya sapatnaha bhavati. That is the meaning here. Let us quickly see what Bhashyakara says. Atha etasya prajapatya anna uttasya eva manasaha dyauhu dyulokaha shariram karyam adharaha. So atha etasya, okay, atha means thereafter, and this etasya means what? Prajapatya anna uttasya. So the one who, which was talked about as the anna, and which is part of this Prajapati, because later on the 14th, 15th and all we'll be talking about Prajapati, but the idea here is Prajapati is the totality. Okay, and even this Vag, Manas and Prana are all nothing but a part of Prajapati only, particularly when we talk about the with reference to the Devatas, because Prajapati is nothing but a totality of all the Devatas. So Devatas are like the members or parts or organs of this Prajapati. So all this Vag, Manas and Prana, they are all Prajapati Anna only. They are talked about as the Anna or food. And they are part of the Prajapati. And this Manas of this mind, what? This Dyauhu means Dyulokaha. Bhashyakara is giving meaning. This Swargaloka, Dyuloka. That becomes the Shariram. Shariram means what? Karyam, Adharaha. Because the body itself is called Karya. And all the organs and mind are all called Karana, instruments. So the instruments function in this body, correct? Karya, Karana, Sangata. That's why this body mind sense complex, like this we say in English. In Sanskritam we call Karya, Karana, Sanghata. So this Sharira or Karya, which is the Adhara also, which is the support, because without the Adhara or support of the physical physical organ, the actual subtle organ cannot function. So here the Dvyuloka is the Adhara for Manas. And Jyoti Rupam Karanam, the actual instrument which is functioning, which is the Adheya, which is the supported one. Adhara means support. Adheya means that which is supported. That is the meaning in Sanskritam. Asau Aditya. And what is supported as the actual subtle Indriya there is the Aditya. Aditya Devata is the one who is functioning as this Indriya with reference to the Devatas. Okay, he is the Manas. Aditya is the mind. Okay, tat tatra yavat parimanam eva adhyatmam adibhutam va manaha tavati tavad vistaraha tavat parimanaha manasaha jyoti rupasya karanasya adharatvena vyavastita dyauhu. Okay, so here Bhashyakara is giving meaning for this. Okay, yavat. Okay, here you can see here asau adityaha. Okay, tad yavat eva manaha tavati dyauhu. Okay, this is the one he is giving the tat means tatra there. Okay, means yavat parimanam eva adhyatma adibhutam va manaha. So wherever this mind is, this mind itself is taking different forms, correct? Whether with reference to an individual or with reference to the adibhuta also we talked about here, correct? Mind in the adibhuta, okay, is in the form of all these things, three lokas. Okay, amongst the three lokas, mind is antariksha loka, it is said. Okay, vageva ayam lokaha, manas is antariksha loka, pranaha is asau lokaha, like that. Similarly, in the adibhuta, if you see, three Vedas also were talked about. Manas is the Yajurveda, and Manas is the Mata. And again, with reference to Devas, Pitris, and Manushyaha, Manas was talked about as Pitris. Like this Adibhuta or Adideva, wherever this mind is there in the form of an individual manifestation or in the form of all this elementals, you can say, Adibhuta, which make up your surroundings, in all those places, okay, mind is manifesting, or it's a form of the mind only, correct? Whether it is manifest in the individual or in the Adibhuta, Tavati, there what, up to that, Tavat Vistara, up to that level, you can say, up to that boundary. So Tavat Parimana, Manasaha Jyoti Rupasya Karanasya Adharatvena Vyavastita Dyauhu. So this Dyau is there as the Adhara for the actual mind to manifest. Mind in the form of, which reveals everything to you, correct? As the light. This Dyau is the Adhara, support. So wherever mind is there, this Dyau is there as the support. That is the idea. Again, what Tavan Asau Adityaha Jyoti Rupam Karanam Adheyam, and that which is supported by the Dyau, wherever mind is there, Dyauloka is the supporter or support, and that which is supported there for it to function, which is the one which reveals, which is in the form of light. That instrument, Karanam, is what? Adityaha, Asau Adityaha, this Aditya Devata is the Karanam. Okay, Tau Agnyadityau Vang Manase Adi Daivike Mata Pitarau Mithunam Maithunam Itara Samsargam Samaitam Samagachetam. Okay, so now this Mithunam Samaitam Bhashyakara is giving. So the meaning, he is saying this Adi Daivika, both these are all dual case. Okay, Sanskritam is the only language I know at least which has dual case. I don't know whether other Indian languages have dual case. I know Hindi a little bit, Tamil I know well, English also I know. None of these things have any dual case. So this is all, sometimes you may get confused. The seventh case and dual look similar for many words. But here it is all Pratama Dvivachanam, correct? Vang Manase, Adi Daivike, Mata Pitarau, okay? Okay, Agnyadityau, all these things are all Pratama Dvivachanam, all adjectives. this Vang and Manas, which are at the Adi with reference to Devatas, and they are also Mata and Pitras, okay? And they united Maithunam, Itara Samsargam. So they come in contact with each other, they unite. Samaita means Samagacchetam, they came together. Antara Rodasyoho, okay, means Rodas means again earth, or even the both Bhuhu and Bhuvaha, Swaha and all Swaha, this both the heavens and the earths also sometimes it means. Rodasyoho means here they came together, both parts, both the heaven and earth came together, it seems, as father and mother. Okay, and that Bhashikara explains here. Manasa Adityena Prasutam Pitra. So the Manas, which is in the form of Aditya, okay, and which has taken the role of the Pita, father, and Vacha Agnina Matra, okay, and this Vag, which is again Agni, in the form of Agni, it has taken up the role of mother. Prakashitam karma karishyami iti, and whatever functions we have to do as father and mother, they come together and do that, whatever they are supposed to do as father and mother. Prakashitam karma karishyami, may we do that, like that they came together, it seems. These two parts, the earth and the heavens, came together. Okay, tataha tayoho eva sangamana. Okay, therefore what thereafter, because of their coming together, pranaha vayuhu ajayata, this prana, okay, vayu was born, vayu as a devata. Parispandaya karmane, again for what purpose vayu has come? For parispanda. Spanda or parispanda means, you can even take it as some vibration and all that, okay? So spandanam means some kind of activity only, okay? You can take it as vibrations. So to do, that means to actually bring activity everywhere. Activity itself is nothing but because of vayu and prana only, any activity. So for that purpose only this vayu is born, parispandanaya karmane, to do this karma of parispandana, vayu is born. Okay, yo jataha sa indraha parameshwaraha. So the one who is born, this vayu, is indraha parameshwaraha. He is like the lord of everybody. Indra is the lord of all the devas anyway. So he is the lord. Nobody to overlord over him. Na kevalam indraha eva. Not just he is that lord of everybody, but asapatnaha, avidyamanaha, sapatnaha yasya. So asapatnaha means what? Avidyamanaha, sapatnaha means there is no one who is an enemy to him. Okay. So it is a bahuri. Asapatnaha, avidyamanaha, sapatnaha yasya, asapatnaha, without an enemy, with unrivaled. And what is this sapatnaha means? With enemy means what? Kaha punaha sapatnaha nama Bhashyakara. So he says dvitiyaha vai pratipakshatvena upagataha sad dvitiyaha sapatnaha iti uchyate. So in this Upanishad itself answers here. Asapatnaha, then it says dvitiyaha vai sapatnaha. Means Bhashyakara says dvitiyaha means the other second person, who is again with the pratipakshatvena upagataha, the one who is coming to you with opposition to you, with an opposing mindset, we can say pratipaksha bhavana. Okay, so the one who is opposing to you, but such a person only is the one, somebody other than you and who is opposed to you, that is sapatna, is an enemy. But again this vayu or prana does not have any enemies. Okay, tena dvitiyatve api sati vang manase na sapatnatvam bhajeta. Okay, so this vayu is there, and other than this vayu, anyway, the vang and manas are there, correct? So there is a second thing definitely. So aren't they then enemies of this vayu? Means no, they are not enemies. Bhashyakara is pointing out. So Even though they are dvitiyatva, means what, they are other than this prana, both this vang and manas. Na sapatnatvam bhajeta, they do not have any enmity or rivalry with this vayu or prana. Why? Pranam prati guna bhava upagate eva hite adhyatmam iva. So even at the Adi Daiva level, all these devatas are subordinate to this prana only, like even in the body, he says, with reference to the body, because in the body, only if prana is there, mind and other indriyas can function. If there is no prana, none of these things can function. Similarly, with reference to the devatas also, even at the deva level, this vayu or prana devata is the Lord. These people are all only subordinate. They do not have any enmity, or they cannot rival this prana devata. Okay. Then, okay, incidentally, the Upanishad also is giving you this upasana phala. That's what he says. Tatra prasangika asapatna vijnana phalamidam. Prasangika means whatever is under discussion, you just talk about. Prasanga means that is the subject matter under discussion, and along with that, now it is said. Okay, what is that? The Vijnana Phalam, the one who does upasana of this Vayu Prana as Asapatnaha. What is the Phalam for that Vidwan? The one who does this upasana is what? Na asya vidushaha sapatnaha pratipakshaha bhavati. So the Vidwan or vidushaha, for this person, there is no pratipaksha, opposition or enemy. Who is that vidushaha or vidwan? Evam yatoktam pranam asapatnam veda. So the one who does upasana about this prana as the one who does not have any rivals or enemies, that person also will not have any rivals or enemies. That is the phala for that upasana. So along the way, the Upanishad also is giving this as a upasana and a phala for that upasana. Then continuing, अत एतस्य प्राणस्य आपः शरीरं ज्योति रूपम असौ चंद्रः. Okay, so this thereafter what? So already this vag and manas have been talked about. Now the prana, the third anna is being talked about. Ata etasya, this prana. Okay, and for that the sharira or the adhara, the support, the body is what? Apaha, waters, liquid, and Jyoti Rupam Asau, and whatever is the revealing Devata there. Okay, who is that? In the form of light is Chandraha, Chandra Devata is the Devata. And similarly, what? Tad Yavaneva Pranaha. Okay, Tavatya Apaha, Tavan Asau Chandraha. So wherever this prana is there, this water is there as the support, Adhara, Sharira, and again this Chandra also is there. Okay, as the actual prana functions as the prana there. Okay, then what? Ta ete sarva eva samaha. All these three annas are there, correct? Vag, manas, and prana. They are all samaha. They are equal to one another. Okay, and they are all anantaha. Sarve anantaha means they are limitless. Means they are there wherever you find speech or mind and prana. In all those places they are there. In all the upadhis they are manifesting. In upadhi means a conditioning factor. Like we say, the part is a conditioning factor for space, correct? Even though space is there everywhere, we do talk about a part space. This part space is 5 liters, that part space is 10 liters and all that. Okay, so like that, the part is conditioning the space. Even though part is in space, we talk about as though space is in part. Okay, so like that, so wherever part space is there, space is there, obviously, correct? It's limitless that way. Wherever, in fact, everywhere space is there. Similarly, this prana, mind, and vak are also there everywhere. Wherever this phenomenon is there, they are there. That's why they are anantaha. And again here Upanishad is making a observation or point. It says sayo havai sayo ha etan antavataha upaste antavatvam salokam jayati. So this the one who knows these, okay, all these three things, Vag, Manas and Prana, as limited, and then do upasana of them as limited to only this body, let us say, they also only gain limited lokas. They go, their phalam also is in keeping with that. Okay, so that means limited loka means they'll have to die and come back. They go somewhere, they take a birth again and they have to die. That is all. Okay, so atha yo ha etan anantan upaste anantam salokam jayati. And the ones who do upasana of these things as limitless, as manifest everywhere, they gain ananta loka. Ananta loka here means again it is within the samsara only. Understand that it is not the anantam we talk about like satyam jnanam anantam, limitless in the sense of space, time and object wise, not like that. But we talk about chiranjeevi and all that, correct? Even in earth, let us say there are 7 chiranjeevis are there, Hanuman, like that we talk about Kripa, Ashwathama, like that. There is even a shloka to remember these chiranjeevis. Chiranjeevi means they live, they don't have any death, at least till this whole cycle of creation is there, they are there. This one whole cycle of creation, within this cycle of creation, they will not have another birth and death. That is the idea. Same thing here. So they attain to Ananta Loka, means they go to a Loka and they are there till this whole cycle of creation ends. That is the idea here. So like this, so here the Adhidaiva aspect of these three, Vak, Manas and Prana, have been discussed. And then Upasana phalam also has been given. Depending on how you do Upasana of these things, the phala also varies. Okay, let us see what Bhashyakara says here. Ata etasya prakritasya prajapatya annasya pranasya. So this Ata etasya, ata means thereafter, after having talked about Vak and Manas, and whatever prakritasya means whatever is under discussion. When we talk about Vak, Manas, Prana is the third Anna. That is the Anna which is being discussed, the Prajapatya Anna, which is Prana. And again, Bhashyakara makes a side note here. He says, Na prajoktasya anantara nirdishtasya, he says. So here the Prana discussion, whatever is happening, is about the Prana we are already talking about. It is not about this pranaha, vayu, which was talked about here, as the result of coming together of this Agni and Aditya. Okay, this is the prana which we are originally discussing anyway, in this as the one of the Anna, in the Sapta Anna. Anantara Nirdishta means that which was discussed or described just now, immediately before this. Okay, so for this prana, apaha shariram, so the waters are the sharira, means karyam, karana, adharaha, so the support for the instrument. Okay, and purvavat jyoti rupam asau chandraha, like even before we explained, here the jyoti rupam or the revealing light is the chandra. And tatra yavaneva pranaha yavat parimanaha adhyatma adibhedeshu adhyatmadi bhedeshu. Adhyatmadi means we have to include adibhuta also here. Tyavad vyaptim, okay, tavad vyaptimatya apaha tavad parimanaha. So this apa waters are there wherever this prana is there. In adhyatma or adibhuta, with reference to the individual bodies or with reference to the elements, wherever this prana is there, there this apaha is there as the sharira. Okay, wherever they are manifest. And then what? Tavan asau chandraha abadheyaha. And there this Chandra also is there. Okay, which is not having any badha, which cannot be negated. And tasu apsu anupravishtaha karana bhutaha, and it has entered, because the karana has to enter the physical golaka to function. So tasu apsu anupravishtaha karana bhutaha adhyatmam adhibhutancha tavat vyaptimaneva. So this Chandra as the Devata is functioning as the prana everywhere. It is the life in all the bodies, you can say. And the waters themselves are the body. Like this it is described here. Okay, tani etani pitra panktena karmana srishtani त्रीणि अन्नानि वांग मनः प्राणाख्यानि अध्यात्मम अधिभूतं च जगत समस्तं एतैहि व्याप्तम. Okay, so these three things which have been created by the Pita, which is who is the Jiva individual. And how did the Jiva create these three annas? By doing karma, and karma itself is, again, to do that you require 5 factors. Okay, oneself, wife, children, and then 2 types of vitta, wealth and all was talked about. Correct? This pankta karma was talked about. Pankta means that which has 5 avayavas. Okay, 5 factors make up one thing, means it is called pankta. So the karma has 5 factors involved in it for it to be performed. So by doing the karma only, this jiva has created all these 3 annas, which are vang, manas and prana, and also at all the at different levels, with reference to one's own body, with reference to the elements in our surroundings, and with reference to the devatas. And they are pervading everywhere in this srishti. Okay, jagat samastam etaihi vyaptam. So by these 3 things, this entire world is pervaded. Wherever Vak is there, this Vak Devata is there, correct? So they are all pervading. Na etebhyaha anyad atiriktam kinchid asti karyatmakam karanatmakam va. So other than this, there is, wherever you find this phenomenon, they are there. That is the idea. Without this, none of this phenomena can take place. So wherever this phenomenon is there, without them, any karya or karana cannot be there. All these instruments are organs, and wherever they are functioning, the physical aspect of that, both of them are all pervaded by these Vang, Manas and Prana only. And samastani tu etani prajapatihi. Okay, now the totality of all these things only is Prajapati. Prajapati is the totality of all the devatas. So Bhashyakara is pointing out here. So samastani tu etani prajapati ta ete vang manah pranaha sarva eva samaha tulyaha vyaptimantaha yavat prani gocharam sadhyatma adibhutam vyapya vyavastitaha. So these things together become Prajapati, and also what? These Vang, Manas and Prana, they are all Tulyaha, equal to one another, Samaha. Why? Because they pervade. Wherever Prani Gocharam means wherever a being is there, living being, whether it is with reference to the physical body or with reference to the environment and elements. So Sa Adhyatma Adibhuta, they are Vyapya, they are pervading, and they are there, Vyavastitaha, they are present, pervading everything, whether it is individual bodies or the entire as elements, the environment, they are there everywhere, pervading. Atayeva Anantaha, therefore only they are limitless, they are there everywhere, Anantaha. Yavat Samsara Bhavinaha Hite. So up to the, wherever this samsara is there, this world, this jagat as we know, samsara Bhashyakara is bringing here because the limitlessness is not absolute. To point out that only it is a relative limitlessness, you can say. That's why he says only till the time samsara is there, they are all there. They are limitless with reference to this relative world, you can say. Okay, nahi karya karana pratyakhyanena samsaraha avagamyate. Okay, so without this karya and karana, there is no samsara. Means only this karya karana sangata, only with that only there is a samsara or whatever the world which we encounter. This relative world itself is only because of all this karya and karana. And so they are all this whole samsara is in that form only. So that's what was also discussed here, correct, in all the verses before. So karya karanatmaka hi te iti uktam. So this all these three things are nothing but they are in the form of this karya, means the sharira, the support, and that which is supported, which is the karana, the instrument and its function. So they are in that form, and this entire samsara also is in that form only, this world of becoming. Okay, sa yaha kaschid ha etan prajapatehe atmabhutan antavataha parichinnan adhyatma rupena va adibhuta rupena va upaste. So now the one who does upasana of these, which are really part of the Prajapati, correct? Prajapatehe atma bhutan means they form the part of the body of Prajapati, but you actually do upasana of them as parichinnan, limited. They are limited to either one's own body or limited to the elementals, let us say, adibhuta. If you do upasana like that, then what? Sacha tad upasana anurupam eva. So in keeping with the upasana you do, phalam antavantam lokam jayati. So they gain this result of a loka which is also limited. Parichinna eva jayate. So they take a birth where they have only limited life. Okay. Na etesham atmabhutaha bhavati ityarthaha. So he does not become part of these devatas. But if you identify with the Adhideva, then you also become limitless like them. That is the whole idea. So even this Chiranjeevi and all I talked about, how did they become Chiranjeevi? Means they must have done upasana like that. Instead of identifying yourself with a limited body, mind, sense complex, if you are able to identify with the total, then you gain that limitless life, correct? Chiranjeevi. Or even the ones who know, we talk about sages who know past, present, future and all that. So with reference to knowledge also, you identify with the totality, means you have knowledge of everything like this. We can understand like that here. So, but what ata punaha, but if you do not identify with limitations, then what? Yaha ha yetan anantan sarvatmakan sarva prani atma bhutan aparichinnan upaste saha anantameva lokam jayati. So on the contrary, the one who does upasana of these things as the self or as part of all the beings, wherever this phenomenon is there, this Vak, Manas and Prana are there like that, and they are part of Prajapati, correct? The totality. So you now do upasana of them as the limitless, that which is manifest everywhere. If you do upasana, then the phalam also for that is anantameva lokam jayati. That means they will be there till this cycle of creation comes to an end. Okay. So now this Vang Manas Prana we have looked at the level of Adhyatma, Adhibhuta and Adhidaiva. Now what? Bhashyakara is giving an introduction to the next verse, because the Upanishad now talks about Prajapati. Okay. And why it is talking about Prajapati is that Prajapati is now being presented as the result of the Jiva's karma. Because even the one Prajapati is an exalted being, correct? We saw about Prajapati even in the fourth Brahmana. In fact, it started with Prajapati only, correct? Prajapati was alone, he was feeling bored, then he wanted a wife because he can do then something, some activity, karma and all that. So that Prajapati, how did one become Prajapati? That also was given in 141 itself. Because the one who does so much karma and upasana, and one who has beaten all others also, all other contenders. Okay, in fact, the meaning for that word Purusha also was given differently there, interestingly. I don't know whether you remember all that, you can go and check that. Okay, so Pura Aushat iti Purushaha and all like that meaning was given. So Prajapati, the Prajapati Padavi or the status of becoming the Prajapati itself is the result of karma and upasana. That means now the Upanishad is trying to show you that the Karya also should have the features of the Karana. That is the idea normally, correct? If you have a cause like gold, golden jewelry is having all the characteristics of gold, correct? The Karya should have the characteristics of the Karana. So if we say karma is pankta or made up of 5 factors, then the karma phala, which is this prajapatyam, okay, the status of being a prajapati or prajapati also should have these 5 factors, pankta. That is what is going to be shown. So the Upanishad is taking a couple of verses for that, 14 and 15. Okay, so that's what Bhashyakara is giving a introduction for that here. So what does he say? Pita panktena karmana sapta annani srishtva trini annani atmartham akarot iti uttam. So this is what he is just summarizing whatever was there. The Pita is the Jiva, and Pita did all this karma which has 5 factors, and by that he has created all this saptanna, these 7 foods, and in that 3 of them are for one's own self, the atmartham akarot. Then he created 3 of them for oneself. This was said. Okay. Then what? Tani etani pankta karma phala bhutani vyakhyatani. Okay. Then all these things are were described as the results of this pankta karma. Okay. All these things are nothing but the results of doing this karma, which has 5 factors. And there, but again, one question needs to be answered. Yes, what is that? Tatra katham punaha panktasya karmana phalam etani iti uchyate. So how did all these things, this Vang, Manas and Prana and Prajapati as the totality become the result of this pankta karma? How did it become like that? How is it that you are saying that this is the result? To answer that only, now the Upanishad is further explaining, he says. Okay. What is that? Yasmat teshu api त्रिषु अन्येषु पांक्ता अवगम्यते वित्त कर्मणोः अपि तत्र संभवात् तत्र पृथिव्याग्नि माता दिवादित्यो पिता यो अयम् अनयोः अंतरा प्राणः स प्रजा इति व्याख्यातम्. Okay, see in this तेषु अपि त्रिषु अन्येषु पांक्ता अवगम्यते. So why it is said as the result means because, yasmat means because here, yeteshu trishu anneshu, in these 3 annas also, these 5 factors are there, are to be found, because they are the karya, they will have the characteristic of the karana. Out of the 5 also, 3 have been already discussed. What is that? This Prithvi, Agni being the Mata. So Mata is one factor, correct? In the Pankta. Vivadityo Pita. Pita is another factor. And again, when they come together, okay, Pranaha sab Praja iti Vyakyatam. So Pita, Mata and Praja, 3 factors are already there. But now Vitta Karmano api tatra sambhava. In these 5, this Vitta and Karma, those are the 2 things. Daivi Vittam, Manushi Vittam and all was talked about, and the actual doing the karma. So those 2 also have to be now shown. And then only you can say that this is a phala. So in the, for that what? Tatra Vitta Karmani Sambhavayitavye iti arambha. So to show that Vitta Karma also are there. There Sambhavanam. Sambhavanam means here to show that they are there. For that purpose, this is being started now. This new Vakya 14. What is that? Sa yesha samvatsaraha prajapatihi shodasa kalaha tasya ratryaha eva panchadashaha kalaha Dhruvaiva asya shodashi kala sa ratribihi eva cha puryate apachakshiyate saha amavasyam ratrim etaya shodashya kalaya sarvamidam pranabhrit anupravishya tataha pratarjayate. Okay, so here the Prajapati is being talked about as the Samvatsara, as the year. The year itself is nothing but it starts with the Tithi, correct? So if you see there is a lunar day, and again the waxing phase of the lunar fortnight is a Paksha. Fortnight is a Paksha, and two Pakshas, two fortnights become one lunar month, correct? And then that becomes a Masa, and Masa only becomes then Samvatsara. And here the Prajapati is looked upon in the form of Kala or time and year. Okay. Yesha Samvatsaraha Prajapati, this year or this unit of time called year itself is looked upon as Prajapati. And if you look at the Prajapati like that, Prajapati has 16 avayavas or kala. Kala here means you can say digit or a part or a member and all that. Okay, Shodasha Kalaha, so 16 aspects are there for this Prajapati. What is that? Again, out of that 16, the 15 are part of the fortnight itself. Okay, so Tasya Ratrayaha. Ratrayaha means here Ahoratri, both are involved, days and nights. Eva Panchadasha Kalaha. So the 15 digits are these 15 days and nights. But there is one which is always there, it seems. One aspect or one factor or digit is always there with the Prajapati. That is the 16th one. Dhruva eva asya shodashi kala. This shodashi kala is permanently there. The other 15 are coming and going, correct? Because in the waxing phase they come one by one, and in the waning they just go out, and then you have only Amavasya. But the 16th one is always there, correct? Throughout it is there. Even during Amavasya where there is no Kala, otherwise which is visible, but this permanent Kala is there, it seems. Okay, and how it is there and all we'll see that. So this one aspect or one digit is always there, which is Dhruva permanently. Others are temporary only, that they come in the form of day and night, and again and in the form of the moon itself is changing, correct? Its form is changing. So Prathama means only one kala is there. In Dvitiya, 1 and 2 are there. Like that, it keeps on waxing. Then again it is waning. So like this 15 kalas and one more which is permanently there, 16th is talked about here. And sa ratri bihi evacha puryate. By this day and night only it is puryate means it is becoming complete. Correct? The moon is becoming complete and it is total with all the 16 kalas, it is there on the Paurnami. Okay, Paurnamasyam. And apachakshiyate, again this is Chandasam. In Veda, the prefix apa and the actual verb can come like with a gap. Okay, in between the cha is coming. Apakshiyate. Normally in classical Sanskrit we cannot break it like that, but in Veda it always in many places it comes like this. So apakshiyate cha. So it is becoming complete and it is also getting reduced or it declines by these days and nights. And saha amavasyam ratri metaya shodashya kalaya sarvamidam pranabrid anupravishya tataha pratarjayate. Also, interestingly, here the amavasya is specifically talked about by this Upanishad. In fact, some interesting things are there here, even from a social standpoint. So, this on the Amavasya, only the 16th Kala is there, it seems. And what happens on that day, that 16th Kala or that 16th aspect, which is always there anyway, but on Amavasya, it is specially, it goes and it is pervading in all the living beings, it seems. So, or it enters all the living beings. The 16th kala, which is there on Amavasya, which alone is there on Amavasya, then it goes and enters all the living beings. Pranabrid anupravishya, sarvamidam, all the living beings. Tataha pratarjayate. And then the next day, again it is born as the second, whatever, the prathama, dvitiya, like that it comes, correct? The second kala comes. So it enters and then from there it is born. Therefore, what? Therefore, Upanishad is telling something, an interesting value. What does it say? Tasmad etam ratrim pranabritaha pranam na vichindya. Therefore, you do not take the life of any living being on Amavasya. Like that, it is giving you ahimsa lesson here. So you should not kill anything on an Amavasya day. That's what at least Brihadaranyaka Upanishad is saying. But I think there are other tantric practices, they don't follow this rule. Because many people give actually all this goat and bison and all all this buffaloes, they give sacrifice and all that on Amavasya. Some people do tantric upasana and tantric karma and all, they do that. But anyway, so here the Upanishad is specifically prohibiting you from killing any living being on the new moon day, because it is like killing the Prajapati itself, because Prajapati has entered all the living beings on Amavasya, it seems. So do not kill any living being. And api krikalasasya etasya eva devatayaha apachityai. Also, krikala sasya means what? Krikala saha means a chameleon. On that day, you do not even kill a chameleon, like that. This Upanishad is saying. It has said anyway, you should not kill any living being. Even a chameleon you should not kill, because normally this chameleon is looked upon, or even small reptiles and all, people generally kill. I don't know why. Even when I was a kid and growing up, children used to throw all the stones and all whenever they see this, even some lizards and particularly chameleon. Maybe chameleon is changing its colors all the time and it has a very negative connotation, correct? Even when you use it as a adjective to even some person, it has a very negative connotation. It is looked upon as something which is not very shubha, okay, not auspicious, inauspicious. The chameleon is looked upon as something which is very inauspicious. This is there in our society, I think. And so even now, I think even in our villages and all, people throw stones at chameleons whenever they see that. It is difficult to spot, in fact. But if they spot, they try to kill it. They throw stones at it. But even that you should not do on an Amavasya at least. Okay, that's what the Upanishad is saying. And why you should not do that? Because you are now, this Prajapati or the Soma Devata here has entered, correct? In the Prajapati in the form of Chandra has entered all these living beings. So in reverence and to do puja, to worship that Prajapati, apachitya means to honor. So why do you not kill? Because you want to honor this Devata. For honoring this Devata, only we do not take any life on this Amavasya day. So this is given as these are all some kind of side notes in the Upanishad, but interesting. So we'll continue next week. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.